Long, long ago, in a city where the streets were perfumed with cardamom and dusted gently with silver moonlight, there lived a poor merchant named Hassan. He owned little more than a small wooden shop, a tired gray donkey, and a heart heavier than his purse. Each day, Hassan sold spices and scraps of cloth, watching wealthier men pass by in silk robes, their laughter loud, their purses full. And each night he would whisper to the stars, "Is this all my fate shall be?" But fate, dear listener, has a curious way of listening. One evening, as the call to prayer faded into twilight and shadows stretched like long fingers across the sand, Hassan closed his shop and walked toward the old well outside the city gates. There, half buried in the cool desert sand, he saw something glimmer, a small bronze lamp. It was old, older than regret, older than forgotten promises. Curious, Hassan bent down. He brushed the sand away with his sleeve and lifted the lamp into his trembling hands. "It is worth nothing," he sighed, "like me." And absent-mindedly, he rubbed it. The earth trembled. Not violently, but gently, like a sleeping giant turning in its dreams. From the lamp rose a column of soft silver smoke. It did not roar, it did not burn. It rose like a sigh. And from that smoke emerged a tall figure, with blue eyes like the dawn sky, and robes pale as the first light of morning. "I am Samir," the figure said softly. "The Jinn of the quiet flame." Hassan fell backward into the sand. Forgive me, I meant no harm." But the Jinn's voice was calm, almost kind. "Fear not, Hassan. I grant no loud wishes, no greedy demands, no reckless desires." The Jinn's glowing eyes studied him carefully. "You are granted only one true wish. Speak it from your heart." Hassan's breath grew shallow. "Gold, palaces, servants, power." All these thoughts rushed through him like a desert storm, but the Jinn did not blink. The silence grew heavy, and slowly, Hassan's heart spoke louder than his hunger. "I wish," he whispered, "for wisdom enough to change my fate." For a moment, the desert itself seemed to hold its breath. Then the Jinn smiled. "So it shall be." And he vanished. The lamp lay silent in Hassan's hands. No gold appeared. No palace rose from the sand. Only the wind remained. Hassan sighed. Perhaps I was a fool. But he did not yet understand. The next morning, something felt different. The world seemed to whisper. At the market, Hassan overheard two traders boasting about rare silk from distant lands. But something in their tone was false. He listened carefully, watched their eyes, and declined their offer. By sunset, the silk was revealed to be dyed rags. Hassan had avoided ruin. Days later, at the docks, he noticed a cracked wooden boat no one wanted. Others mocked it. But Hassan's eyes saw what theirs did not. The cracks were too neat, too deliberate. He purchased the boat for almost nothing. Hidden beneath its boards were small velvet pouches, filled with jewels. Not stolen, forgotten, claimed lawfully. Slowly, day by day, Hassan's shop grew larger. His donkey grew well fed, and his purse grew heavy. But with wealth came envy. high above the city in a palace of marble and gold.
The governor heard whispers of Hassan's rise. "A poor merchant," he sneered, "growing rich without noble blood." Suspicion sharpened his eyes like knives. "Bring him to me." Hassan stood before the governor's throne. The hall was vast, cold. The ruler leaned forward. "Tell me, merchant, how did a poor man become wealthy so quickly?" The court fell silent. Hassan's heart pounded. That night, Samir appeared once more in soft moonlight. "Wisdom has a price," the Jinn said gently. "If you speak truth to power, you may lose everything." "And if I lie?" Hassan asked. "Your wisdom will fade." The choice was simple, but not easy. The next day, Hassan bowed before the governor. "I gained wealth," he said steadily, "by listening carefully, learning patiently, and choosing honesty over greed." The governor laughed. "Foolish answer." He ordered Hassan's wealth seized, his shop taken, his jewels confiscated. By sunset, Hassan was poor once more. That night, alone in his small, empty home, Samir appeared again. "You chose truth," the Jinn said softly. "Wisdom remains. Wealth may return." And then he vanished forever. The lamp grew dull, its glow fading. Years passed. Hassan did not curse his loss. He listened, he advised, he taught. People began seeking him not for his gold, but for his counsel. He became known as a man whose words carried light. And when the cruel governor finally fell, undone by his own greed, the people turned not to the richest man, but to the wisest. They chose Hassan as their guide, not a ruler of fear, but a guardian of fairness. Under his counsel, the city prospered, not loudly, but steadily, like a quiet flame. When Hassan grew old, his beard silver as starlight, he returned one final time to the old well outside the city. In his hand, the bronze lamp. He smiled gently. "I understand now." He placed the lamp upon the sand, and as dawn touched the sky, the lamp turned to dust. For wisdom, once earned, needs no magic. And so Hassan closed his eyes one last time, not as a poor merchant, not as a rich man, but as a wise soul at peace. And so, dear listener, remember this. Gold can be stolen, power can be broken, fortune can fade like footprints in sand. But wisdom is the treasure no ruler can seize. And so the night ended, but the story lived on.